What is up, league managers and everybody across YouTube Nation? This is the Commissioner, Jimmy Milstead, and this is episode 17 of the Storksdesk. The season is ramping up. We've been saying this for weeks. It's week 19 of the fantasy hockey season, the league fantasy hockey's inaugural year, and it's been unbelievable as somebody just rang my doorbell. But let's
well the show, right?
yeah, let's welcome in our deputy commish, Kevin Stork. What's up, buddy?
How's it going, boys? Looking forward to week 18 here. We're getting down to it. 3 games left on the schedule, and 4 teams, as you spoke earlier, are eliminated from playoff contention here this season. But still, not one team has clinched a playoff spot, and here we are in week 18. And that means nobody's running away with it, and all kinds of action is going to be happening in the next 3 games.
Correct. Um, we got some great games this week. Let me rattle off what happened last week. Forgive me for a few seconds, Stork. I'm using my phone for once. I don't have my laptop stats up here yet. Final scores last week in rivalry week number 3. The Americans stomp all over birthday boy Josh Halsey of the Wyoming Great Apes, 18-4. So a happy belated birthday to Josh yesterday on the 19th. Jimmy gave him a giant L for a present. Hope he's having a good day out there. But that last week was not Josh's week. You, Stork, and the Langley Scorpions are on fire right now. 14-7 winners over the DuPont Pipe Players. You eliminated Tim Kelly from
Sorry,
playoff.
Tim.
So both of us weren't very nice to our opponents this week. The Woody Woodpeckers, Mark Wood, he is making hay. He's just as hot as you. He still needs a lot to get into the playoffs, but he looked pretty good against the worst team in the league, Texas freezing Mike Kuznetsov's. Jaden actually played pretty well, but 13-9, he lost to Mark Wood. The best team in the league, Stork, DB Cooper, here on this President's Day. Right now, he's the President's Trophy winners for our league. He improves to 13-5, right?
Yes, sir.
14-8. He sweeps and eliminates Nick Reedy's Frozen Norseman. So, good season, Nick. Time to play spoiler. And then I thought was the match of the week, even though Don Cherry gave the match of the week to you and DuPont pre-week. I thought the best game on Sunday to watch in the late stages was the Nova Fire Brigade and Washington Wendigo. Whalen just finds ways. This guy could be the most clutch team. He puts a big-time effort together and wins at 11-9. He swept Nova Fire Brigade, Scott Lanham. Scott Lanham's the number 2 ranked team. He could have used that to get closer to that Ovechkin division title, but he could not get the win. Nice win by Whalen. And then in our final matchup of Week 18, Probert Etiquette's back in the win column. Don't count him out. 12-8. He eliminates Julio and Yuma. Yuma, a good hockey team, just hasn't been able to find ways to get wins, and he lost 12-8, and he's eliminated. What are your thoughts on that last week, Stork?
Oh, it was quite the week, and when you look at the standings now, you would say, in the Gretzky division, we have, with of course, DB Cooper still has that 4-point lead, but it's a 3-team race for that division title. But look over at the Ovechkin division. I mean, we've got 5 teams that are still in range to win that division. So it's going to be quite the race for the last 3 games of the season.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting to watch. Don Cherry came out with his Grapevine Power Poll rankings this morning. DB Cooper, no doubt, the number 1 team still for the, I believe, 6th time this year. He is ranked number 1 by Don Cherry. So he was there last week. He stays there. Nova Fire Brigade lost, but they stay in the number 2 spot. If you recall, Don Cherry picked Nova Fire Brigade to win it all preseason. He hasn't disappointed ever since a midseason losing streak. Scott lost, like we said last week, but he stays in the 2 hole. Stork and the Langley Scorpions, congrats. You're the highest rank you've been all year on the poll. You're number 3 in Don Cherry's books. You moved up 2 spots. So impressive there. You passed Probert Etiquette, who stays at number 4, according to Don Cherry. Probert's been quiet over these past few weeks. Man, it could be deadly. I'm not sure
He's
what his
getting worried, Jimmy.
Yeah.
He's looking in the standings and he sees Langley ahead of him now. So, yeah, I can't wait to play him on week 21 because that's going to be epic.
Yeah, it's going to be a barn burner last week showdown there. Back to the rankings. Wendigo, they move up a spot to number 5. They've kind of been in the same area all season long. Haven't been able to breach the top 3, but Whalen's been consistent right there in the playoffs. He moves up 1 spot to 5 from 6. The United Americans move up back into the playoffs. Just an impressive win over Wyoming. Probably the second best win of the year for Jimmy's squad. Adna moves up 1 from 7 to 6. And then in some controversial positioning here, Don Cherry has the Woody Woodpeckers. Worse record, but they've been playing hot. Don has Woody Woodpeckers from 8 up to 7 now. They move 1 up. And the biggest fall of the season almost, the Wyoming Great Apes, a team that was a number 1 team for 3 weeks here this season. They have fallen all the way from 3rd to 8th. Don Cherry has not liked what he's seen on Josh Halsey's squad. Wyoming takes a huge hit. Huma stays there at 9. DuPont stays at 10. Frozen Norseman stays at 11. And the Texas Freezing Mike Kuznetsovs. Unfortunately, Jaden has just about clinched that spot to help pay for the Stork Cup to be shipped to this year's champion, Stork. What are your thoughts on Don Cherry's rankings? Is he treating Wyoming too harsh?
No. I mean, Wyoming has lost 5 of the last 6 games, and they were right up there in the top 3 for much of the season. But the last 6 weeks have been quite a struggle for Wyoming, and they're now sitting tied with you there for 6th place, but they're sitting in 7th. But yeah, they're going to have to get it going, or they're going to fall out of the picture if they don't get some wins together.
So Josh this week has let's see, he's hosting Huma. A get right game, but Huma is
a dangerous
out of the playoffs.
Game to play, Jimmy. I was just saying that's a dangerous game to play. A team that is now out of it. They got no pressure, and they can become dangerous teams when you're out of the playoffs. You got to watch them.
Yeah, Julio's a prideful player, and I know he will keep the accelerator down. Now, those eliminated teams, as we said, they're competing for that number 1 pick. So there's still stuff to play for. This is our last non-divisional regular season week, Stork. It's amazing. The Ovechkin versus the Gretzky. It's been 14-14 and 2 draws with 6 games here this week. Who do you think is going to be the better division?
Well, I mean, the most exciting division, like I said, is the Ovechkin right now with currently 5 teams still in striking range of that division title. I mean, that's going to be crazy down the stretch, especially with the last 2 weeks being divisional games. And of course, not taking anything away from the Gretzky division, we've got these 3 teams in the top all having to play each other at least once. And yeah, anything can happen, but it's going to be a great race. I'm really excited about the finish here.
Yes, sir. You got the chalkboard behind you. Those are the matchups this week.
That's next week's matchup.
Oh, next week. I'm sorry.
Week 20.
Yeah,
Big
those are going to be.
Especially this baby here, Langley and DB Cooper. I want to be able to. I'm going to have to win this game if I want any hopes of winning the Gretzky division. But I got to get in range. I'm still 4 points away from them. But I'm hoping that guy from Adna can pull off a big win this week and put me in striking range of him, because I'm taking down the Woodpeckers. They're going to be hurting after this week. So that's what my prediction is.
Yeah. So Adna will be is playing DB Cooper, the number 1 team. That is Don Cherry's matchup of the week. And you have Mark Wood, the Langley Scorpions, a historic fantasy rivalry between you two.
Yeah,
got any words?
We've been doing this for many years now, and I like playing Mark, and Mark's always had some solid teams no matter what sport you played against him. So he's definitely a rivalry of mine, because we've been going at this since like 2012 now. So it's been over 10 years. I've been playing fantasy sports against Mark, and I'm looking forward to him maybe coming back into a couple of my leagues. So yeah, we have a long rivalry together. We like to beat each other.
Yeah. Any trash talk you need to let him know right now? Because he usually watches the show.
Stated it. I am going to take down the Woodpeckers and bring them back down to 500 and make it really hard for them to get into a playoff spot, despite the fact they're only a half a game out right now. So yeah, the top 8 here, of course, only 6 make it. So 2 teams are might be over 500, and they may not make the playoffs.
Indeed. So yeah, it's going to be intriguing to watch this week. We'll concentrate on week 19. Don Cherry's record in predicting games. He's 59-46 now, Stork. He's done a pretty good job. He went 4-2 last week. This week he predicted the Nova Fire Brigade to beat DuPont Pipe Layers. He's taking DB Cooper to beat Adna. DB Cooper's off to a fast start. Those Boston Bruins won today. Pasternak had 2 goals. So it's already a good start for the best team in the league. We'll see if Adna's feeling pretty good, I think, looking at their lineup. They just got to have good performances this week. The Texas Freezing Kuznetsovs are on the road. They have a tall task, but we'll see if they could upset Probert. Don Cherry has Probert all over that one. Don Cherry is picking the Woody Woodpeckers, Stork, to beat the Langley Scorpions. Wow.
He is last week, too. What's wrong with him?
I don't know. He ranked you pretty high this week.
He did rank me high. Yeah, he finally got me where I should be. But yeah, he keeps going against me, so I got to keep proving him wrong.
Yeah, this is the first ever meeting here in this particular league between you and Mark.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to it. Frozen Norsemen are on the road, and Don Cherry has an upset there too. They're picked to beat Washington Wendigo. Waylon shakes his head. I talked to him earlier. He watches the show. He's not impressed with Don Cherry. He also he's never looking at the rankings. He says he just wants to be number 1 when it's all said and done. But Waylon not impressed with Don Cherry either. Stork.
Yeah.
And then in our last matchup, Huma also picked on the road by Don Cherry to beat Wyoming Great Apes. I think Cherry's just given up on Josh's team. So some interesting picks by Grapes this week.
Yeah, indeed. But you know, he's usually right on the money as far as his rankings are concerned. But his picks, I don't know, man. I think he's been a little shaky. I think his age is showing.
Yeah. Well, he's well above 500, so we'll see what he does this week. All right, enough of Grapes chatter. Wednesday's our fantasy trade deadline. The 22nd of February. That'll be noon on the East Coast, 9 a.m. So basically, you want to wake up early and make any last minute decisions. Anybody on the West Coast. 2 days left to get trades in, and the real NHL trade deadline is March 3rd. We talked about that. We got some big time rumors, like we've always said. What did you think of Patrick Kane yesterday? Chicago Blackhawks beat your Toronto Maple Leafs. He almost had 4 goals.
Yeah.
Do you think? I think we've talked about this already, but is Showtime Patty Kane on his way out? Was that his last game with the Blackhawks?
You know, part of me thinks that it's a good play for Chicago, but I don't know if Kane really wants to go, and I certainly know he doesn't want to go and be a rental to somebody. So, yeah, it's hard to say. He might talk them into keeping him in Chicago. But on the other side of the coin, he loves the Chicago Blackhawks. He's been dedicated to them right from his first game. And, he could do the Hawks a big favor by giving them some picks and some players to work with in the future and just move on. I mean, he is, 35 now, 34? So, but he's still Patrick Kane, really. I mean, look at him yesterday. That's vintage Patrick Kane. He still has a lot to offer. So I just don't know whether he wants to be part of a rebuild again in Chicago.
And keeping with that team, I heard on Daily Faceoff, Frank Saravalli, Jonathan Taves is staying put. He will not be. There's a center taken off the board there as far as trade bait. Jonathan Taves will not be moved, is what is being reported. So, did you think he was going to end up going anywhere, you thought?
Well, I mean, he's injured right now. So, I mean, they can't trade an injured player, really. But from what I understood, Taves wanted out. He didn't want to be part of the rebuild at all. And the thing about Taves is, I mean, of course, he's had a solid career, but he's not quite the same player anymore. So I don't know I don't think his health is very good right now. And, of course, knowing that he's upset with what Chicago's doing, and he's been verbally upset about it, he's made it public almost. I can't see anybody that really will take a lot of their pieces away to get a guy that they don't know whether he's even going to play. So, yeah, it's a tough call on Taves.
Yeah, and in other injury news, as Taves is hurt, huge news out of Long Island. Matty Barzal, lower body injury, out indefinitely. I'm not sure who has him on their squad in our league. Do you know?
No, I don't, but I have it twice in my league, so that was low for me.
I want to say maybe Whalen or somebody has him up, but a huge loss for whoever's fantasy squad has Matty Barzal. They're a desperate team in the thick of the wild card race, and they can ill afford to lose probably most arguably their best offensive talent. So all the best to Matt Barzal, former Seattle Thunderbird, to get back into the lineup, because the Islanders are going to need him if they're going to have any chance to make that playoff appearance. So, Dork, do you want to go over some stats?
The Woodpeckers own Barzal, so
okay,
that's good for me, I
guess. Yeah, good for you. Langley going to take advantage of that misfortune for Mark Wood. Mark Wood offensively has looked pretty good lately. He's made some good moves. So, your matchup.
Well, Mark knows his hockey, so
your matchup looks pretty good this week. I probably heard Grapes say that was probably the runner-up for matchup of the week. But you want to dive into some stats, Stork? It's been a while since we've talked about.
Yeah, I'm all ready to talk some stats over.
Yeah. Well, I'll hand it over to you, buddy.
All right, buddy. Well, we're going to start at goals, and it still leads in that. He has 293 goals Next up, DB Cooper, of course, offensive juggernaut in DB Cooper land. He has 283 goals, and Langley has 273 goals. So they're the top three. If you go down to the bottom two, we got Huma with only 198 goals, and Texas with 188 goals. So, yeah, you got to get some goals. They're almost 100 points behind in goals, and that's a lot of points to be losing, and that's probably why they're sitting on the outside looking in right now. Over at assists, the Nova Fire Brigade have a huge lead in that, 499 assists, followed by Cooper with 453 assists. Langley has 430 assists. And down at the bottom, we have DuPont with 360 and the Frozen Norseman with 357. Again, two more teams that are not in the playoff picture right now. They got to get some offense going. As far as total points are concerned, the Nova Fire Brigade has 750 points. That's goals and assists combined. DB Cooper is second with 736, and Langley has 703. Down at the bottom, the Norseman with 567, and Texas with 556. Now, here's one that I know you love, is the plus minus. DB Cooper leads the league with a plus 106. The Nova Fire Brigade are second with a plus 91. And DuPont, believe it or not, so low in the standings, but they're a plus 62.
Attaboy, Tim.
We go down to the bottom of the league, and we see Wyoming, believe it or not, who's 10-7-1 right now? Or no, 10-8 they are. They're a minus 65.
Yeah, this week they were minus 22 against me last week.
So they're hurting in the plus minus. But they're not hurting as much as the Frozen Norseman. Minus 95. That's cold, man.
Nick, minus 95.
Oh, minus 95. I think they've improved that a little bit over the last couple of weeks. So
I was hoping he was going to get to the century mark, but
yeah, I think they were over the century mark there for a little while, but they brought it down a little bit. As far as penalties are concerned, get this, at least Texas is leading in something. 470 penalty minutes. They're first in the league. So he's got some goons going on over there.
Attaboy, Texas.
It's too bad he got scoring because he needs goals, not penalties. But he leads the league in that. Wyoming is at 469. They're second. And DB Cooper, I mean, this team does it all, doesn't it? They score, they're hitting. They have 445 penalty minutes. Good for third. The two wimps, the Woodpeckers.
Yeah.
They're 11th in the league at 327. And DuPont at 321. They're last in the league in penalty minutes. Oh. One of the important stats is power play points. DB Cooper leads there too. 255 penalty or power play points for them. Probert is second at 235. And Agna, your team, is third in the league with in power play points at 233, just behind Probert. And then down at the bottom, we got Huma in 11th place at 172. And again, Texas is last in the league at 163. In the shots department, DB Cooper again, of course. I mean, they're up there in every stat almost. That's why they're first in the league right now. They've got 2,310 shots on goal. Probert is second with 2,268 shots. Langley, my team, is third, 2,236. And down at the bottom, we got Huma in 11th at 1,897. and Texas at 1751. Here's the one I hate, Jimmy. Face-off wins. Washington leads the league with 3,116 face-off wins.
Wow.
And that's a lot. Yuma is second in that department at 3,035 face-off wins. And then at third, we go down a little bit. The Nova Fire Brigade, 2,709.
He picked up a lot of centers last week. That
Yeah.
helped him out.
Cooper, DB Cooper, they're actually, here's a stat that they're down at the bottom. They're in 11th in face-off wins.
Wow.
1,792. And this makes me want to throw up. Langley is last in the league by far with only 1,203 face-off wins. Washington has almost tripled me.
Need to get a face-off coach in there, Langley.
I don't know, but I'll be addressing this in the off season for the draft next year. I'll be looking at that because that stat makes me want to puke. Over in the hits department, Texas leads in there too. They lead in penalty minutes and they lead in hits. 1,001 hits. They're the only team over 1,000 hits in this league.
Wow.
Probert is second at 985. Yuma is third at 974. And then we have the Nova Fire Brigade, 11th at 724. And last in the league is Washington with only 701 hits. In the block shots department, we got DB Cooper again, 730 block shots. Second is Huma at 656. And Probert Etiquette, 652. Last in this department is the Norseman at 11th, 537. And Wyoming was only 467. They're last in the league. So that's pretty well most of the offensive of the skaters department. We got a few other stats, but we'll keep it as short as we can. So let's move over to goaltending. Game started. Yuma and Adna are both tied with 80 games started. The Washington is at 70, and down at the bottom we have Texas at 55 and DuPont at 50. Then the wins department, Adna is all over the board, and you have been all year, really. You have 43 wins as a team. Huma has 42. Nova at 39. Probert Etiquette is 11th at 25. And last from that department is DuPont, no surprise. They only have 21 team wins. In the goals against average department, Adna, you're on top again, and you have been, I think, since day one. A sparkling 2.39 goals against average. Cooper is second. Here's why Cooper's in first place. They've got all that offense, and they got some goaltending too. So they're a well-rounded team. They're second in goals against with 251. Not bad. The Nova Fire Brigade are third at 2.63. And then down at 11th is my team. And that's another thing I need to address is my goaltending for next year. I'm sitting at 3.17. And then 12th in the league, and they have been all year, DuPont with a 3.58 goals against average. That's not good, Jimmy. Save percentage, you're up on there too. 921 save percentage. Second is Probert at a 915. And DB Cooper, again, they're sitting at 912. Down at the bottom, we have Texas, an 899 save percentage. Not good. And of course, you know who I'm going to say is last. DuPont. That's right. 893. Something they're going to have to address for next year if they want to make the playoffs. And just a short note here in team shutouts. Adna, you're leading that too. You got 7 shutouts as a team. Prober Etiquette has 6. And the only team that has not got a shutout, take a guess. That's right, DuPont. They have no.
Oh, yeah.
Team. So
that's
yeah,
amazing.
that pretty well rounds out the stats. And as you can see, teams that are really low in the offense department, they're teams with a big 0 on them right now that they have no chance of making the playoffs. So it's something to think about for next year, heading into the draft to get some scoring balance along with some good team defense and goaltending.
Yeah, Tim's struggling in the goaltending department, but I think UC Saros is an amazing goalie. It's other guys he's got. Bobrovsky's in Florida. I'm amazed he hasn't had one this year, at least in Tim's lineup. Jack Campbell, an amazing game between Edmonton and Colorado yesterday. Holy smokes.
That was pretty wild, eh?
Edmonton just couldn't. That's how it is for the Oilers. They'll score, and then they can't seal it up with the defense. So, no. Connor McDavid, I'm interested to see what they do in the NHL trade deadline. So,
well, when they picked up Campbell, Jimmy, they thought they had answered their goaltending problems because, as you know, they've had a history over the last few years of having problems in net, and they thought Campbell would be the answer, but obviously he hasn't been the answer either.
What's the deal with Skinner? Is he hurt? He was the All-Star.
I'm not sure what's going on with Skinner right now. He might be. He might have some bumps and bruises. I mean, he played a lot of games there when Campbell was sitting, so it's. I think they might be just resting him, but I don't know if Skinner's the answer either, Jimmy. He doesn't have enough experience behind him. I don't think he. I mean, as you know, the playoffs are a whole different animal. And he's never seen any playoffs from what I know.
Because it's so interesting because Washington and Wendigo have Skinner, and he only had 1 start last week, and it was Antti Ranta back up for Carolina. And he ended up getting good stats out of that. So, interested about Skinner. So, we're winding down our episode 17 here, Stork of the Storksdesk. Thanks for the stat updates. We'll do it again. Like we said in the division, the Gretzky division, DB Cooper, 11-2 record inside the division. Stork, you are 8-5 with Langley. Prober Etiquette is 9-4. They're in 3rd place there. And then the bottom dwellers who just got eliminated. Huma's 4-9 in the division. The Frozen Norsemen 3-10. And the DuPont Pipelayers are 4-9. Over the Ovechkin, amazing. Nova Fire Brigade is only 7-6 in the division.
Yeah.
Like we said, Washington swept them. Everybody has somebody's number in this league. The Wendigo are 8-4-1, but they had trouble with the Texas Freezing Kuznetsovs. They went 1-1-1 versus Jaden's squad. The Americans are 8-5, but they just never could beat. Actually, they finally beat Scott Lanham, but then they lost to him again. They finally beat Josh as well. Adna has more trouble playing the Gretzky division opponent, so it's not a winning record in that one for sure. Adna has a good job playing Washington, and they finished the season against each other. That could be a battle to get into the playoffs. We'll watch that.
It could be, Jimmy. Yeah, it could be.
Wyoming has struggled in the division. That's why they have fallen down. They are only 7-6. The Woody Woodpeckers are 7-6, and then Texas, unfortunately, 1-11-1. They've had their success against the Washington Wendigo, but have not gotten a win against anybody else in the Ovechkin. Well, Stork, that's about all the information I have at my fingertips. Anything going on in the league, NHL, and the league that you want to touch base before we wrap this one up?
No, I'm just looking at the scores right now. I mean, it's early. It's only Monday, but it's important to get off to a good start. And the Adney Americans are struggling a little bit coming out of the gate here against DB Cooper. I need you to beat him, Jimmy. That's all I got to say.
We're not worried yet, Stork.
No, lots of week left.
A big credit. I mean, look, when I say worried, we know the tall task we have at hand. We're going to put all our effort into it. It's unfortunate that we're not going to have a goalie today. We're not going to be too hasty here to go frantically picking up some garbage backup. I kind of have a strategy going. Mark Raymond, hell of a player. He's already got 2 pickups. I just picked up Keandre Miller. I wanted to add a little arsenal there. I can see a couple things I want to do. I'm not going to reveal them here on the show. But the trade deadline Wednesday, there's not a lot of games Wednesday, Stork. That'll be a pivotal day, actually, but we'll see how many trades are made. Very important. Tomorrow could be the biggest day as far as anybody.
Tuesday, there's quite a few games on Tuesday, so yeah.
So we'll see how things are after tomorrow's game, and we'll update you there. See what's up. I really enjoyed this show, Stork. Any plans today on President's Day? Is it Prime Minister Day?
I'm watching Jimmy. Watching Langley zoom up to the top. That's
to the moon, baby. Well, enjoy the rest of the day, Stork. Enjoy the hockey games, and everybody else watching. Badger Bob once always said it's a great day for hockey, and it's definitely a great day for hockey here on this President's Day. Stork, while you were rattling off some of the stats, I was shining up the cup. Maybe for you, I don't know. This baby is getting ever so close to be hoisted. Still a long way to go.
I'll have to make a board behind me so you can all see it when I'm on video. So.
Oh, real quick, we weren't recording.
My room. What's that? Yeah.
Oh, real quick, we weren't recording when you show me what you got in the mail today. Can you show our viewers your prized possession today?
I just got it in the mail today, and I'm really happy about it. It's a 1974-1975 WHA Howe family card, and it's beautiful. It's nice and crisp. Good corners. Definitely, I'd give it a 9 out of 10 in the grading department. But
nice.
Yeah, that's going in my collection, so I'm pretty impressed with that card. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Gordie Howe, I mean, come on. How do you go wrong with that?
You can't. Historic family. That's a beautiful card, Stork. Congrats adding that to your collection. We should have a segment every week. Your Stork's mail call or mail day. So
I always have mail days here, man.
Yeah.
Hockey cards coming in all the time, baseball cards coming all the time. And yeah, even football cards, Jimmy.
It's always fun to get something in the mail, I'll tell you that. Maybe you'll get this in the mail here soon. We'll see.
That's what I'm waiting for in the mail.
This will be.
I want that in the mail. That's what I want right there. That's what it's all about, Jimmy.
Yes, sir. All right, everybody, enjoy the hockey this week. Thanks to my deputy, Kevin Stork, for joining me and for the Stork Cup as well. We'll talk to you with another edition of the Storksdesk next week. Have a good one, guys, and we'll talk to you later. Good night, Stork.
Good week, guys.